The top stories tonight in Y News. 2 days before his first State of the Nation address, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is still working on his speech with a message focusing on economy, education, and food. Several lawmakers bear their wish list containing their proposed bills for PBBM SONA. Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez denied reports that he has resigned from the cabinet of President Marcos Jr. And find out more about the world-renowned Ilocos Norte-based choir singers who had been chosen to sing the national anthem on SONA Day. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, July 22nd, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts. First in the news, Filipinos are waiting in anticipation for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s first State of the Nation address on Monday, the 25th of July. The chief executive will center on the administration's economic plans, education, and food crisis. Nel Maribohok has the story.
Executive Secretary Victor Rodriguez says President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. has chosen to be hands-on as he is the one drafting his speech. The president is quite busy, according to Rodriguez, getting ready for his first State of the Nation address, which he will deliver before the Batasang Pambansa.
But this afternoon he has devoted it until the weekend, until morning of Monday, to finalize this SONA message.
E.S. Rodriguez stated that the SONA speech is still a work in progress and was unable to estimate how long it will be. He continued by saying that the president's message will heavily emphasize the administration's economic plans and focus on issues that have been discussed at his 3 cabinet meetings.
It's all about our economy, the economic plans, with the face-to-face opening of this coming school year. It's all about COVID response. And when we speak of COVID response, it's not only about health. It goes all the way to the entire cycle of economy. You go not just health, you go to economy, you go into education, and so on and so forth. So yun, pagtutuunan din ng pansin yun.
Additionally, Rodriguez revealed that the president will outline his intention to step up digitalization efforts while in office. The government of Marcos' plan to address the impending food supply and price crisis is also highlighted in the public address, he claimed. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
Several lawmakers bear their wish list containing their proposed bills ahead of the first State of the Nation address of President Marcos Jr. Eileen Cerudo details this report.
Several lawmakers in the lower chamber are expecting President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. to listen to their call and give certain proposed measures higher priority in the 19th Congress. The proposed bill seeking to increase the monthly social pension of senior citizens from 500 pesos to 1,000 pesos is the one that the Senior Citizen Party List is hoping the President would sign into law or will permit to lapse into law. The group noted that Malacanang received the said measure on June 29. Representative Rodolfo Ordanes says the proposed bill will have a significant impact on the daily lives of beneficiaries. He also hopes that Marcos will sign into law the Sangguniang Seniors Bill within the year, which he will refile in the incoming Congress. Meanwhile, the Barangay Health Workers Party List calls on the President to certify as urgent or at least mention the proposed Magna Carta for barangay health workers. The group hopes that the bill will gain traction in the Senate once its third reading approved version is transmitted to the upper chamber. Representative Angelica Co expects a status report and detailed roadmap on how the president will address inflation. She also wants to hear the plans of Marcos on boosting COVID-19 vaccination in the country and financing infrastructure projects, including the Philippine National Railway South Line to Bicol that was among the affected projects following the backing out of China for loan financing. The first regular session of the 19th Congress will open on Monday morning. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Meanwhile, a few Filipinos shared their hope and concerns regarding the policies and issues they think President Marcos Jr. should prioritize in his first State of the Nation address. Janice Inhente reports.
With preparations underway for this year's first State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., some Filipinos expressed their hopes that PBBM will address issues and lay out his plans on how to alleviate poverty in the country, since many are still struggling from their losses due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Vendors said that Marcos should talk about his economic plans to address high inflation rate in the country, which jumped to 6.1% and has affected prices of basic commodities.
Sana lahat na bilihin, babaan niya. Kasi nahirap kaming mga maliit lang kami negosyante. Nahirapan na kami. Kaya sana ibaba niya lahat na bilihin. Partikular sa mga karni, isda, lahat ng products, kung pwede lang, ibaba. Yan. Kaya mga bigas, mahal ang bigas. Sana ibaba nila, di ba sabi nila noon, 20 lang. O dapat to pa rin nila.
Kasi po itong mga ibang tinda ko po ma'am, tumataas na rin po. Mapababa lang sana po yung mga bilihin, parang makapagbilin din namin. Kasi inuutang lang din po namin yung mga puhunan namin po dito, mami.
Kami po ay nagtsatsaga lang sa paglalako ng mga, kung ano na po yung mga paninda namin. Siyempre din umaasa din kami sa pamumuno ng Pangulo. Kaya sa vendor lang po. Yun po. Gusto din po namin na maging bumaba din po yung mga bilihin.
Tricycle drivers would want to hear the president's plans to address the continuous oil price hike and hope that they will be included in the subsidies apart from inflation rate.
Nasana po kaming mga tricycle driver po dito sa amin na kanya pong matulungan. Na kahit paano po ang aming kita, paging sapat sa aming pamilya.
Ang gusto ko lang po, ma'am, may balik po yung normal, lahat-lahat po, para hindi po mahirapan mga driver.
Well, from an economist's perspective, the president should focus on how to address the issues of underemployment or job mismatch.
Is there a roadmap in solving underemployment? Yun yung sa akin yun no? Well, kasi we were able to cure a little bit unemployment, but the bigger problem is underemployment. If there is a roadmap, then he needs to identify the stages and how long will it take to finish each stage until we reach a point that we're able to solve underemployment. Ang economy natin kasi consumption-based eh. In order for us to grow, kailangan mas maraming consumption. Para nating makuha yon, kailangan tama yung job natin, do sa skills natin. So may match between our job skills and the jobs that we have. Otherwise, meron tayong employment pero hindi tugma dun sa skills natin. Mababa ngayon ang level of output ng economy. So, kumbaga, may growth ka pero napipigilan siya.
Apart from underemployment, Manapat said it would be good if PBBM could describe his plans for strengthening the agriculture industry to achieve food sufficiency as well as resolving the high inflation rate.
Anong definition niya ng farm to market road? para sa kanya ba it's really a farm to market road? It's a road that he will construct? Or it's the process itself na aayusin niya? Gagawa ba siya ng mga, let's say, ang first stage niya doon sa roadmap niya, identify niya yung mga small farmers, gagawin yung mga cooperative. After nun, magko-construct ng warehouses, for example. And then after nun, aayusin ng government yung prices, sila na ang bibili. Yun ba yung farm-to-market road niya o yung farm-to-market road niya ay fixing the infrastructure? Kaya yung dalawang yun, okay na sa akin yun.
Janice Inhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Executive Secretary Victor Rodriguez denied rumors that he had left the administration of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Nel Maribohok will tell us why.
Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez said he was confused when he received messages asking him whether the online reports about his alleged resignation were true. In an interview with Malacanang reporters, Rodriguez claims that he seldom ever leaves his office and has no idea how the rumor began. Fake news is not a stranger to them, said the long-term Marcos spokesman, as they have been handling false reports since the campaign period.
But I know you understand too, if it's a fake news or bordering on chismis or marites, I don't think it is proper for anyone, whether a government functionary or an ordinary person, to be asked and made to explain. Ang dapat siguro magpaliwanag niyan, go to the source, sino nag-post niyan, ano ba ang sources mo niyan, pakipaliwanag mo nga.
Rodriguez did say, however, that his only reasons for resigning were health and family.
I don't want to think about it, but of course, for health reasons, of course, family reasons. But other than that, that's why I'm saying I don't want to think about those reasons, because I do not want to get sick.
In spite of this, the ES claimed that he was aware that his position in the Marcos cabinet was temporary. In a text message, Press Secretary Trixie Cruz Angeles further denied Rodriguez's decision to leave the Marcos cabinet. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
U.S. President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19 and is experiencing mild symptoms. Joselito Liquido tells the details live. Yes, Joselito?
Good evening, Kath. U.S. President Joe Biden said Thursday that he has tested positive for COVID-19 with mild symptoms and that he will continue to work in isolation at the White House. This is the first time the president tested positive for COVID-19. In a video posted on Twitter, Biden announced and assured all Americans that he is doing well.
Hey folks, guess you heard this morning I tested positive for COVID. But I've been double vaccinated, double boosted. Symptoms are mild, and I really appreciate your inquiries and your concerns. And I'm doing well. I'm getting a lot of work done. Going to continue to get it done, and in the meantime, thanks for your concern and keep the faith. It's going to be okay.
White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain sent a memo stating that Biden will be working over the phone and through video conferences in order to continue working seamlessly from the White House. The 79-year-old president is in the high-risk category for COVID-19. Biden has already received 4 doses of COVID-19 vaccines, a 2-course primary series, and 2 booster shots. Doctors claim that when compared to Donald Trump's infection in 2020 at age 74, when more sophisticated medical countermeasures like the vaccine and Paxlovid weren't yet available, the president is in a significantly better situation. However, experts said that hospitalization would be required if the president's oxygen saturation level drops below 94% or if he exhibits signs of difficulty of breathing. Back to you, Kath.
Joselito, what are additional risk factors that President Biden is facing in light of his current health?
Kath, Biden's late 2021 physical showed him to be relatively healthy. He is not obese, which is a risk factor for COVID. and he does not have common health risks for elderly people such as heart failure. The one exception is that he has a common condition known as atrial fibrillation or AFib, an irregular heartbeat that increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Back to you, Mariel.
Thank you, Joselito Liquido, for that live report. The World Health Organization, or WHO, announced the rollout of the first malaria vaccine to curb the spread of the parasitic disease. However, its biggest supporter, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who has spent more than $200 million to get the vaccine in the market, will stop its financial assistance to the shot. This was due to its low efficacy rate, the cost of the vaccine, and challenges with its delivery. The Mosquirix, manufactured by GlaxoSmithKline or GSK, requires 4 doses and is about 30% effective against malaria. Alistair Craig, Dean of Biological Sciences at Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, said that although it is not the greatest vaccine in the world, it could have a big impact, and that as of the moment, there are no other alternatives. In 2020, 241 million cases of malaria has been recorded worldwide, causing the death of more than 620,000 people. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, William.
Yes, thank you, Kat. Tomorrow is the last day to register and vote in the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. The Commission on Elections reports that more new voters were eligible than what the agency had targeted. However, given the large number of applicants, COMELEC claims it will be impossible to extend the registration deadline. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
Voter registration for the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections cannot be extended due to the timeline given to the Commission on Elections. The deadline for voter registration is tomorrow, July 23, according to COMELEC. COMELEC acting spokesperson, Attorney John Rex Laudianco, assumes they will accommodate as many applicants during the last day, despite the long queues and the number of voter registrants.
Mula pa nakaraang linggo, lumalampas na po tayo. Kada po aming tanggapan ng mahigit sa 500. Meron nga pong umabot pa sa halos mahigit 600 po. No? Ang ating po mga election officers, sa magigiting namin po mga field officers, hanggat maaari po ina-accommodate lahat ng nasa pila na ng alas 5 ng hapon.
Moreover, 2 million newly registered voters have registered as of July 20 for the barangay and SK elections, exceeding the initial 1 million target set by COMELEC. The majority of the 2 million newly registered voters are between the ages of 15 and 17, followed by those between the ages of 18 and 30, and those who are 31 years of age and older. However, COMELEC will still support Congress' choice if a law postponing the barangay and SK elections on December 5 is passed.
Kung sakali man po ang mga isinususog na bills ay ultimately maging law o maging republika, tatalima po ang COMELEC sa kautasan ng Kongreso na batas nga po. Pero hanggat wala pong Republic Act, kami po ay patuloy na susunod at magko-comply sa Republic Act 11462 na ipatupad ng halalan po sa December 5, 2022.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Elections is ready to uphold the Supreme Court's decision to prevent Romeo Alushos Jr. from taking office as the 1st District Representative of Zamboanga del Norte. A status quo order was released by the Supreme Court against Alushos yesterday after 2 of his election rivals questioned his winning as a congressman. The court gave COMELEC and Alushos 10 days to respond on the said petition. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Department of National Defense expressed satisfaction that the transfer of additional tasks to lead the COVID-19 pandemic response will not affect the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council's or NDRRMC's capacity to respond to calamities. JP Nunez explains why.
The National Task Force Against COVID-19 mandate was transferred to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council as part of streamlining the Marcos administration among government agencies for efficient use of resources. Apart from playing a role in disaster response, it will now direct the nation's fight against COVID-19. Department of National Defense claims that its new task for the COVID-19 response is identical to the task that the agency is now performing. DND spokesperson Director Arsenio Andolong assumes the resources of the council and its partner government agencies may be used by the health department, especially in delivering COVID-19 vaccines.
Mas magiging direkta ang support na sa DNH kung ano man ang kailangan nila doon sa DND. Nitong pandemic, nakita natin na nangailangan na mag-deliver ng mga personal protection equipment, mga bakuna, at transport ng frontline workers natin during the pandemic. Yun ang pinili na suporta naman ng DND doon sa DOH through the Anthem COVID-19. Meron pa rin ang mangyayari dito.
Health Officer in Charge, Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere explains that the National Task Force Against COVID-19 is expected to continue its current function. DOH added that they may use its resources due to NDRRMC's existing regional level offices.
So basically, walang masyadong nabago. So being the implementing arm of IATF, whatever policies and protocols that IATF will be issuing as approved by the President should be implemented by the NDRRMC.
Meanwhile, the National Task Force Against COVID-19 announced on its official Facebook page that it will no longer post updates on the COVID-19 response. The general public is advised to contact the NDRRMC for information about the COVID-19 response and DOH for updates on the vaccination drive. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A master plan for the construction of the farm-to-market roads in the country is being created by the Department of Agriculture right now. But in order to fast-track the project, a sizable budget would be needed. Ray Pelayo explains why.
According to information provided to UNTV News by the Department of Agriculture, the proposed Farm-to-Market Road or FMR of the agency will cost 184.3 billion pesos to build about 15,300 kilometers of road from 2023 to 2027. On a large scale, the target total FMR for construction is greater than 73,000 kilometers. However, it will take 39 years or 4 decades if the same amount of allocated budget is implemented. Aris is one of the traders that transport their produce of coconut from Calawag, Quezon to the Balintawak market.
Ay mahirap po ang daan eh. Mahirap po ang kalsada. Talagang pahirapan ho. Ay pag naulan ho, mahirap. Ano na pag naulan, hindi na madadaanan ng mga mapuputik na daan.
Agriculture Undersecretary Christine Evangelista said that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. had given the DA officials instructions to create a master plan for the FMR.
Instructions po sa atin is to come up with a map, a map that is going to be parang master plan na po yan. So proper plotting kung saan yung mga production source, kung saan yung mga areas for production natin na malaki ang yield. Syempre kasi yun ang when we talk of food security, we have to make sure na well plotted, sa nagtatanim, saan dadalhin. Then dun papasok po yung FMR.
The Budget Department had previously said that the DA would get the majority of the proposed budget for the next year. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A deal backed by the United Nations will be signed by Turkey, Russia, and Ukraine to unblock the ports of Kyiv that are besieged for grain exports. Beverly Saison will tell us why.
The office of Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan reveals that Ukraine, Russia, Turkey, and the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, will sign a deal on Friday to resume Ukraine's Black Sea grain exports. This will be signed in Istanbul. Guterres will attend the event together with Erdogan at the Dolmabahce Palace offices. Before last week's talks, diplomats said details of the plan included Ukrainian vessels guiding ships in and out through mined port waters. Russia agrees to a truce while shipments move. Turkey, supported by UN, will inspect ships to allay Russian fears of weapon smuggling. Millions are at risk of hunger due to the world shortage of Ukrainian grain since February 24th, when Russia started its attacks against Kyiv. Russia and Ukraine are both major global wheat suppliers. An estimated 22 million tons of grain has been stuck in Ukraine since the war began. Releasing this stockpile can help ease the global food crisis that has caused grain and wheat prices to soar to new heights. Beverly Sison, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
As false information about the presidents of Russia and Ukraine spread, the two were quick to deny such rumors. Marvi Delfin will tell us why live. Marvi?
Kath, in recent days, false health rumors about the two nations' leaders have surfaced. One's claiming that President Putin's health was crippling and that President Zelensky was in the ICU. It was revealed yesterday that the largest radio network in Ukraine, TAV-R Media, was hacked by Russians who proceeded to spread such misinformation about the Ukraine leader. In his daily video, President Zelensky addressed the issue, claiming it was Russian propaganda.
Регулярної військово-політичної і дипломатичної активності було сьогодні трошки дивно почути, що з'явився старий, новий фейк російської пропаганди про мене, що нібито я в реанімації, що нібито обов'язки глави держави виконує Руслан Стефанчук.
On the other hand, Russian spokesperson Dmitry Peskov calls out Ukraine and Western nations for falsely spreading rumors that Russian President Vladimir Putin was not in good health. The rumors spread due to his less frequent public appearance now compared to the beginning of the war, as well as his recent public appearance in Iran, where he was seen walking stiffly and coughing. However, President Putin himself apologized and cleared the air, stating that it was only due to the heat in Tehran, Iran. Kath?
Thank you, Marvi Delfin, for that live report. Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi resigned a second time, prompting the country to call an early election. Jane Robles will tell us why live. Yes, Jane?
Kath, Italy's Prime Minister Draghi resigned on Thursday, July 21, after key coalition allies refused to take part in a vote of confidence in the government on Wednesday that would have ensured the survival of the government. The crisis was sparked when Five Star refused to participate in a confidence vote last week, despite Draghi's warning that it would critically destabilize the coalition. The turmoil couldn't have come at a worse time for the Eurozone's third largest economy. Like many countries, Italy is experiencing rising prices for everything, including food and home utilities, as a result of Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. Draghi supporters have warned that a collapse of the government may deepen social problems during a time of high inflation, delay the budget, jeopardize European Union post-pandemic recovery money, and send jittery market into tailspin. France Minister for European Affairs Laurence Boone said Draghi's resignation would open a period of uncertainty and mark the loss of Europe's pillar. Meanwhile, recent polls indicate that the majority of Italians wanted Draghi to continue in office until the planned general election in May of next year, but it hasn't stopped him from being toppled. Cass?
Thank you, Jane Robles, reporting live. For the first time since the pandemic, coronavirus infections in Tokyo, Japan have reached a new record with over 30,000 cases. Mavian Dog tells the details live. Yes, Maeve?
Kath, Japanese officials recorded 31,878 infections Thursday in the capital, Tokyo, with many other regions reporting a spike in number. This is a big jump from the previous high in February when it first crossed 1,000 recorded infections. Officials alerted hospitals are beginning to feel the pressure due to alarming numbers, although there were few serious cases and deaths. Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno told a local news conference they would keep a close eye on the situation and the issue of access to medical services. Japanese citizens continue to follow the mask mandate as before. With the new spike of infections, however, the Japanese government has not yet called for new coronavirus measures. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Mavian Dog, for that live report. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I'm Kat Dumaraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. Good evening.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, assures that all of their personnel to be deployed during the President's State of the Nation address on Monday are negative with COVID-19. Dante Amento tells us why.
Police Major Gerald Val de Leon of the PNP's Directorate for Operations made it clear that they required all police officers to test negative for COVID-19, specifically those who will be tasked with securing President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s State of the Nation address on Monday.
The sub-commanders are given responsibility to ensure that personnel being deployed ay naka-RT-PCR.
De Leon implied that this was done to protect the safety of their employees and prevent the SONA from becoming a super spreader event. A few groups condemned the PNP after some of their employees who contracted the virus were allowed to work in the last SONA of former President Rodrigo Duterte.
Mabuti na rin na yung maliban sa safe ang mga pulis side by side working with each other, sila rin ay safe para makipag-engage sa publiko.
The PNP stresses that they would not hesitate to detain anyone who violates health protocols in the name of exercising his right to free speech. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
An award-winning chorale group from Ilocos Norte will be singing the Philippine National Anthem during President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s first State of the Nation address. Marvin Calas has the story.
It serves as an honor and a great opportunity for the Samiwang singers to sing the Philippine National Anthem on the first State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Although the group had performed in several concert tours abroad, they admitted that this rare opportunity is challenging since they will represent the Ilocano pride for the Filipinos.
We had a lot of concert tours abroad, pero ito kakaiba kasi yung pagka-Pinoy talaga ang lalabas. You will perform as a Filipino, as an Ilocano artist. So we will represent all Ilocano artists po. So nakaka-proud at nakaka-ano din po, challenge, extra challenge din po.
There are around 50 members of the chorale group from the Ilocos Norte National High School. According to one of the members of the Samiwang Singers, the 16 representatives of the group were evaluated and selected from different batches.
Yung 16 po na yun po yung kumbaga napili, nabusisi, na-evaluate ng mga members from different batches, recent batches, and of course the current batch of the Samiwang Singers.
Aside from the national anthem, the group also prepared several Ilocano songs to be performed during PBBM SONA on Monday.
Pabulinawen, pusok kindengaman, tuyo masasog, agrayo ta sa jam, panunuteman, di kapag itultulngan, tuy agayat, agrayo ta sa jam.
Meanwhile, the members of the Samiwang Chorale will be heading to Manila tomorrow as part of their preparations for the big event. Marvin Calas, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Quezon City government allows progressive groups to conduct their march and assembly along Commonwealth Avenue during the State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Asher Cadapan Jr. is here to give us the details live. Yes, Asher, go ahead.
Yes, Will, the new decision was in accordance with Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte's instruction to their local agency, particularly the Department of Order and Safety, to discuss the appeal for reconsideration submitted by Bagong Alyansang Makabayan. This is regarding the progressive group's request for rally permits in the interim Batasan Pambansa Road for the upcoming State of the Nation address by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Mayor Belmonte asked DPOS to carefully review the counterpoints that were presented by the group Bayan and to determine if there are any possible accommodations or middle ground that they can agree upon. With this, officials of DPOS, Quezon City Police District, and other local agencies met with Bayan Secretary General Renato Reyes and other groups who requested for rally permits during SONA. DPOS head retired Police Brigadier General Elmo Sandiego confirms reconsidering the group's request to conduct peaceful assembly near Batasan.
Upon instruction of the mayor na humanap ng win-win solution kasi sa problema na hinaharap namin ngayon. Apparently, na-deny nung una yung isang nag-apply. So, lahat ng grupo ngayon, kinonsider namin ngayon na pinayagan na natin. Especially yung magmamarcha from Circle to Tandansora. Yung Bayan and San Lakas, inalaw na sila na magmarcha. Tapos, doon sila magpo-programa sa Commonwealth Avenue.
The progressive groups, however, were prohibited to go near Batasan beyond the corner of Tandansora and Commonwealth Avenue. The pro-BBM and allied groups, on the other hand, were approved to conduct their program along IBP Road next to Batasan Pambansa Complex where SONA will be held. Authorities explained they were separated to avoid any conflict between the two groups and maintain peace and order during SONA. While QCPD District Director Police Brigadier General Remus Medina reminds the progressive groups that burning effigy will be prohibited during their program.
They should be not unruly, mga ganon. Bawal yung bawal ang magsunog, gaya ng binanggit ni Sir. Well, meron tayong mga fire extinguishers na kung po pwede, gagamitan natin na.
Multisectoral group Bayan says they have defeated the no-zone rally, but their fight for freedom of expression and peaceful assembly continues. Reyes, however, asserts that authorities cannot intervene whether they decide to burn the effigy or not.
Pero yung sa effigy po, kung ano man ang gagawin namin dyan, yan naman po ay within our freedom of expression. Hindi po yan pwedeng panghimasukan ng kapulisan. Wala po silang otoridad o kapangyarihan para ipagbawal ang isang paraan ng pagpoprotesta.
Well, the progressive groups, however, assures that they will maintain a peaceful assembly and observe the health protocols against COVID-19. Will?
Yes, thank you, Asher Cadapan Jr., reporting live from Quezon City. And before we close, we will leave you with a word giving glory to God from the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 13. It says, "He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him." And those are the reasons behind the news, July 22, 2022. Because reasons we deliver to you as they unfold, I am William Theo. And because we need to know, we will always ask why. We serve the people, we give glory to God.